parent, there's obviously a lot of guilt around that, because as parents you feel like not only are you supposed to love your children, but you're also supposed to like them, you're supposed to want to be with them, it should be unconditional. But your son is a full-grown adult. And as full-grown adults, we need to be held to standards of civility, of kindness, of respect. Just because someone's your parent doesn't mean you can throw kindness out the window or you can throw respect out the window. We were speaking a few nights ago about loving someone you don't like. It happens. There are people, and sometimes they're even people in our family, and sometimes they're even our children, who develop personalities for a variety of different reasons that we just don't like, especially if they become narcissists, if they tell us what to do all the time. It's very difficult. But as a parent, there's obviously a lot of guilt around that, because as parents you feel like not only are you supposed to love your children, but you're also supposed to like them, you're supposed to want to be with them, it should be unconditional. Your son is old enough, he's no longer a young child. If he were young, if he were still a real child, going through a phase, I would say, just keep loving him anyway. Whatever he does, just love him anyway. He's just pushing boundaries. But your son is a full-grown adult. And as full-grown adults, we need to be held to standards of civility, of kindness, of respect. Just because someone's your parent doesn't mean you can throw kindness out the window or you can throw respect out the window. It sounds, as you've said, like he's holding still a lot of anger from your divorce from your wife. And it seems to me that it's really important for you to set boundaries. Just like you would with any other person, in which you say, look, I love you, you are my son, I will always love you. I am always here for you. Whenever you need, whatever you need, I am here. And there is a level of respect, kindness that I require in my relationships. And I need you to change how you interact with me. I don't want to be told what to do. And then you can be strong about it. And if he continues to do it, you should feel free to get up and walk out of the room. Sitting in a restaurant, get up, walk out. I don't mean walk out of his life. I don't mean refuse to talk to him again. But just in that moment, that interaction, you're done. There's no rule that says just because someone is a family member, you need to sit there and be verbally abused. If he was physically abusing you, you wouldn't take it. If every time you saw him, he was hitting you, you'd establish some boundaries. But when people are verbally abusive to us or emotionally abusive to us, it's a lot harder to establish boundaries. But it's just as important. And you need to establish them. And then you need to have the courage. You know, he starts up, you say, please, as I've said, I don't want to have this conversation. You know, give him a chance. Maybe he forgot. Maybe it's just his tendency. Give him a chance. As I said, I don't want to have this conversation. I don't need to be told what to do. And if he keeps doing it, just stand up and walk out. And what he'll learn is, if he wants to have a full dinner with you, or a full lunch, or a full cup of tea, or a full conversation, he has to change how he is, because you take care of yourself. And you stand up and you walk out the same way that you would walk out if he started hitting you. You might not hit him back. He is your son. But I'm sure you wouldn't take it that you would stand up and you would leave. And you need to have that same love and respect for yourself. Just because he's your son doesn't mean he has the right to hurt you and harm you in that way. You might want to suggest to him, if you think he's open to it, that it seems like the anger that he holds from the divorce is still impacting his ability to move through his life, his ability to interact with you, and that it might be a really good idea for him to talk to someone about it. I warn you, people in general tend not to respond very well when you suggest they get therapy, but it's worth a try anyway. Do it as lovingly, as kindly, as compassionately as possible. But just suggest, it sounds like he's got some stuff to work through. Maybe he should try. Offer that to him. And again, I'm not saying he'll take it. But don't feel guilty for being unable to like being in the presence of someone, even if it's your son, who's constantly negative and harassing you, verbally abusing you, telling you what to do. Set those boundaries. Take care of yourself. Divorces happen. And even though it's very easy to point fingers and have fault, there's always two sides. And it's always usually a split that's not one person's fault. But children do tend to get caught in the middle and end up frequently taking a side. But he's old enough to let that go. And again, you may want to suggest that he let it go. If there's another family member or someone else you know who he respects, maybe you can have that person talk to him and suggest that he get some help in letting go of the anger he's holding on to.